All right, so as I mentioned, we will be using a couple props today. If you have them readily accessible, you will be using a block or bolster, or if you have cushions like pillow cushions, these are awesome too. So just grab those and we'll get started. So the way that I like to teach a yin style of practice is we'll go through a little bit of meditation to start, and then we move into some breath work, followed by yin, some restorative, and then closing again with more breath work. I hope you guys are okay with that. All right, so let's find a comfortable seated position. A comfortable seated position looks different for everyone. So you might find this better to be sitting on a bolster or a cushion even. So something to help elevate your hips. And the hips, they are higher than your knees. This will help to relax your knees below the hip line. Also will give you a nice tall, buoyant spine. Okay, so as we sit up nice and tall, just let your hands rest or land where they instinctively want to fall. You can close your eyes. Take a full breath in and a breath out. Breathe in and breathe out. Notice how this feels to land on your mat, land in your seat. And without actually changing the movement of your breath, just be a watchful eye in your mind. Observe the thoughts as they pass and they go. And you can feel the breath as it passes the nostrils. It warms the back of your throat. Just observe the external sounds of the room. So all the sounds that are occurring in the outsides of the walls can become part of your seat today, your meditation. And tune into the internal room sounds. So whatever sounds you're hearing in the space that you're practicing. The weight of the elbows are hanging heavy under the shoulders. Now you can really hear all the sounds starting to blend in together. So it kind of feels and sounds like a little bit of a buzz or a white noise even. Now with your eyes closed, start to deepen your breathing. You can start to inhale into your belly, your ribs, and your collarbones. And as you exhale, exhale collarbones, ribs, belly. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. And stay with that breath nice and slow. So it's still the natural sound of our breath. Hasn't quite changed yet into a deeper throaty sound. nice and soft. And introduce Ujjayi breathing. So that's that ocean sound breath as it washes the back of the throat. Still moving with the sweet breath, the three-part breathing. So inhale, subtle restriction through the back of the throat. And it's very similar to fogging a mirror with your breath, but with your lips closed. Now see on the top of your inhale, if you're cinching or closing the inhale, try to smooth it out so the inhale weaves into the exhale and the exhale comes right back into the inhale. Let's amplify this breath even more. Let's lengthen it up for a slow count of 5 this time. So inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And Ujjayi breathing with that vibrative sound that's moving through the larynx. It's stimulating the vagus nerve in your brain. That nerve is responsible for calming our entire central nervous system. All right, take a full breath in, breath out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. So we'll do one more breath exercise before we come into our yin practice. Let's actually change the cross of your legs if you're cross-legged. And this time we'll move into what's called alternate nostril breathing. So alternate nostril breathing is a closing of the nostrils. So we'll take the index finger and the middle finger in. The thumb and the ring finger are the closing fingers. So I'll demonstrate the first round of breath and then you can follow along with me. If you know alternate nostril breathing, you're absolutely welcome to start and begin the full process with me as well. So we'll start off by closing the index and middle finger. Thumb is going to close the right nostril. So we take a breath in through the left. Close both nostrils. Then exhale out the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close both. Exhale out the left. Now there is a little retain. We're going to retain the breath, or it's called breath retention, on the in-between. And what we're doing is we're balancing both sides of the brain. We're also taking down anxiety or stress if you have any going on. This is a really good practice to do at any point throughout the day. All right, so let's get the hand into the position. Bring your right thumb up to the nostril. Take an inhale, nice and slow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both nostrils, retain for 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale slowly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale slowly, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both, 3, 2, 1. Exhale right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close, retain, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale slowly. Retain both. Exhale right. Inhale. Retain both. Exhale left. Now do this last round for as long as you can with that breath retention in the middle. And if you make a mistake with the breath pattern, that's okay. You're still a good person. Just start over. It's the beauty of it all. Let your right hand rest on your lap. Breathe in through both nostrils. Okay. Slowly blink the eyes open if they were closed. And we'll start to move into our asana practice, our yin practice. Our first movement, our first shape we'll be coming into is Sphinx pose. So let's make the way onto your tummy. Now, there's a few different ways you can set up for this shape. You can start by resting on your elbows and the tummy relaxes. If you have blocks or a bolster or cushions even, you can set it up so a block is there and a pillow is there to soften. It helps to elevate the spine and also support the spine in this flexion so that you're not doing as much work. Now once you have that comfortable position, just let your organs relax, your body will relax. So that's the setup if you were to use props. More restorative style to do it that way as well. Now let's take the chin to the right. Drop your head down. Chin to chest. Over to the left. Come back to center. And rotate through other side. Now come back to one more time on the left. Neutral position with the neck. Now the option is to let the head hang down where the shoulders will come up, or you could keep the neck neutral by looking towards the front edge of your mat. And if yin is a new practice for you, we hold the floor poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. And in this practice today, our focus will be to open our spine and open through the central nervous system, as the spine is like our information highway from the brain to the rest of the body. The feet, they can be in any relaxed position. So if you have tighter ankles, this might feel more comfortable to prop a pillow underneath your feet. That will help to take some of the pressure off of the feet and in the ankles as well. Now come back into the sound of Ujjayi breathing, that ocean sound breath. So if that is a new breath for you, you can start off with the mouth open. Breathing in and out through the mouth as if you're fogging a mirror with your breath. And And then close the lips, but maintain that sound, the ocean sound breath. The weight of the chest and the tummy move towards the mat. So in this style of practice, we are assisted by gravity. Oftentimes we're working against gravity. So just let gravity be your guide, your assistant. And you can amplify your breathing from more than just the sound, but create the space. Breathe into your low back. Breathe into your sacrum. That's that triangular bone at the base of your spine. Breathe all the way down your legs. Now we're about halfway through this shape. So if you'd like to enhance this pose or take it into a deeper sensation, bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Hands could come out wider than your shoulders. And we'll make our way right into seal pose. We lift all the way up. Now this does change the incline of your spine. So if that's too high, lower the elbows back down and just stay in Sphinx pose. Otherwise, we're lifting the chest. The chin can stay neutral as well. Just let the tummy relax. Such a great movement to come into, especially if you've been sitting for a long time. I know in this new changing times that we're experiencing, it's hard to spend time like outside, running, walking, just doing the regular things we kind of did automatically. So what this self-isolation is really bringing us is the capability of being inside, and just also showing us a greater appreciation of what we have when we're out of this changing time. So even just the freedom of being able to walk around or go to the grocery store, that kind of stuff we take advantage of. So here for about 4 more breaths. Start to lower yourself down, all the way down. Bring your left ear onto the mat. Arms can come to your sides. Now bend your knees. Soles of your feet turn up to the ceiling and just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Now this is our rebound. So the rebound is the sensation that we feel after our yin pose. It's also slightly yang in nature, where there's a little bit more movement as we move through this practice. Okay, change the ear so the other ear is on the mat now. And then bring your hands under your shoulders. Push yourself back into tabletop position. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And I'll just do a few rounds of cat-cow. So big breath in, drop your belly, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, round through your spine, chin to chest. Press up between your shoulder blades. Inhale, drop your belly, look up. And exhale, round through. All right, come to neutral. Take your left foot, step your left foot beside your left thumb. And we'll make our way onto the fingertips here. I'm just going to grab a hair elastic before. My hair just kind of goes wild. Okay. All right, here we go. So, foot is beside the hand, or beside the thumb to start. If your knee is higher and you can't quite get your fingertips onto the mat, you might use your water bottle or your blocks just to come up onto. So just take a few movements here into a half split. Bring the weight back. And then bend the front knee, come forward. Take a breath in, reach back. Flex the toes. Exhale to come forward. Okay, breathe in. And breathe out. All right. Now you can bring the hands back onto the mat. Heel toe your left foot out to the side. And then let the weight of the hips sink down. Now, the back knee might need a little bit of extra support, so you can always fold the edge of your mat over. Let the weight of your hips sink down. So for the first part of this practice, you can either stay on your fingertips. You can also ease your way down onto your elbows. Get creative again, so you can use the blocks, propping it up, like so. Now, we would like to be riding, I'd say about 70% of the stretch. So if you are in a full 100% where there's no room for movement, no room for flexibility, then I would highly recommend to back off and then come back into it with a little bit of ease. Okay. So the hips can sink down. So how is dragon pose? How is this pose related to the movement of our spine? Well, we know for sure that our body is connected. So we are connected in every single way, not only physically with people and emotions, the environment, but we're so connected internally as well. So when we are tight in our hips, our low back and spine will compensate as well. So those areas of the body, they need to relax in order for the other parts to soften. The fascia that connects everything together, that takes a little bit of extra time as well. So it takes time for that fascia to soften and ease. You may have heard me say this before. Fascia is very similar to a piece of caramel. So imagine, not caramel, toffee, that stuff that comes in the plaid box that gets stuck between your teeth all the time. So it's really hard for that toffee to split evenly if you quickly tear it apart. But with the warmth of your finger and a long period of time, if you place your finger on the toffee, eventually your finger will melt right through. Just notice where you're feeling the most sensation of dragon pose. Maybe it's your right hip, maybe it's your left outer hip. And whatever sensation you're feeling, take your deepest breaths into those very spots. And 4 more breaths. Carefully rise up onto your hands. Take your time. Heel toe, the left foot in between the hands again. Curl your back toes under. Take a breath in. Now slowly, slowly, slowly straighten up the left knee. Shift the hip back. Lifting through the hip. And transfer the weight forward again. Let's curl the back toes under. Now engage your glutes, the lower abdominals. Lift up, take 3-legged down dog. So we're going to take the left leg up and back. Option to bend the knee and open your hip. Keep pressing down and forward through the left hand. So there's this rebound again. We're feeling the rebound after the yin pose. Okay, let's set the left foot on the mat. Take a moment in child's pose. So knees come together. This child's pose is different from wide knees, so we want the knees together. Forehead can either rest on your block or your mat. Hands come at the sides of your feet. Let the weight of the shoulders round over the thighs. Feel the breath slowly move in between each vertebrae. And soften back down. Okay, make your way back up into tabletop position. And this time we'll take the right foot forward. So in the yin style of practice, we often start on the left side, as that is actually the yin side of our brain. So let's just come into that half split motion, rocking forward and back. Inhale and exhale. Just preparing our hips. Now the next time your right knee is bent, let's stay here. You can slide the left knee back and then heel toe, the right foot out to the side. Take whatever configuration you are comfortable with. Again, just riding that 70% line. Maybe coming down to the elbows, all the way down to the floor. Whatever feels good in your body. If you have been on your hands this whole time, it actually might feel more comfortable to come onto curled fingers, so you're on your fists. As you rest down, the hips relax. And check out your right foot. Your right toes and your knee are pointing in the same direction. Focus on how your breath is a tool to calm your body. All sorts of information or response patterns through the nervous system come up when we're in uncomfortable situations. So this might not feel like the best pose to have a cup of coffee in, or or just to be able to watch TV even. So you might be feeling this not only physically, but as a challenging conversation internally. So can you quiet your mind by way of breath? Sometimes it helps to count the breath. Maybe even focus on a 3-part breath, lighting up 3 different areas of your body where you're feeling the most sensation and breathing into those spots. So when we were entering this pose, I was just talking about the 2 different sides of the body. There's a yin and a yang side of the body. The yin side is the left side, so our brain is analytical thinking on the left side. The right side is more creative. The yin energy in our breath is the exhale. The inhale is the yang. So see if in the next 5 to 10 breaths, can you extend your exhale out a little bit longer? Maybe by an extra second or 2. Take your time to slowly ease your way back up. Oh, that one feels pretty strong sometimes. Okay, heel toe, your foot between your hands. Let's come into that half split movement again. So big breath in. This time we exhale, slowly pull back. Forward and back, nice slow movements. You can even bring that back knee a little bit closer if that helps. Okay, plant your palms flat, curl your back toes under. Take a slow lift to three-legged down dog. Right leg comes up, back, option to bend the knee. Press down through the hands, lift the knee up high. Oh, the sweetness in your left calf as well. So press the heel towards the mat. Okay, knees come back down. Child's pose for a moment. This might be a nice time for a little sip of water if you're thirsty. So when we're in this pose, I like to visualize, you know those slinkies that you throw down the stairs? And when they come into the upright position, they're like stacked. But as we roll the spine over the legs, just think of how the space is opening up. So just visualize your slinky spine. All right, come back up into tabletop position. Crawl your way forward. Open your knees wide. Bring your big toes to touch. Have a seat on your heels. So this pose is called saddle pose, but it's also known as sleeping hero. So you can do this with the feet together or apart. This does have a strong sensation in the tops of your feet and your ankles. So if you find that this is painful on your feet, this actually might feel more comfortable to sit on a block, placing it right between the feet, or a pillow cushion, whatever you want to use for that. So just make sure you have your props readily accessible, as you might need them to roll backward. Okay, so bring your hands behind you. Lift and lengthen your tailbone. Activate the glutes. Let's just stay here for a moment. So there are your quads. Hey, good morning, quads. How are you doing? Okay, so just a nice long leg through the legs. Okay, soften the hips back down. Maintain a little tuck of your tailbone. Now that might already feel like plenty for you here. If this is too much with both knees bent, you can actually do this as a single leg variation where you roll onto your side and you bend one knee. And so that's if one knee at a time is bothering you, if that's too much weight. Okay, so from here, start to make your way down onto your elbows. You might even make your way down onto your shoulder blades. And you can even progress into a deeper sensation or even come out of it as we start to relax into the pose. Just visualizing that slow toffee with your warm hand pressing through. Now if you're kind of in between resting on your elbows and bringing your shoulder blades all the way down, you can prop your blocks or your cushions behind your spine, kind of like a T shape, and roll all the way down. So one block will be between the shoulder blades, and the second one will come behind your head, like so. So we'll relax down. In this shape, we tend to fidget quite a bit, so just feel your body land. And it makes perfect sense why we would fidget, because of the areas that we're exposing and opening up. For example, and this is if you're a believer of our chakra system, of course, the solar plexus is right here. That's right in the belly. It's the third chakra. we host a lot of emotional stuff there. So things of such emotions like courage and fear, it's all right here in the belly. So have you ever had that feeling where you are scared of something and your belly just kind of drops? That's the third chakra. Or, you know, when you have to muster up courage to say a speech or something, you take a deep breath into your belly and then you sigh it out. That's right there. That's in that chakra. So here, as we're resting in this shape, we want to fidget, we want to move, because our body is resisting that urge of settling in to whatever is dormant in that area. So that's a more ethereal understanding of it, but you can take it or leave it. Amplify your breath into the thighs, into your hips. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, please rise out of the pose slowly. I'm going to be here for about another 5 to 10 breaths. All right, grab hold of your feet, dig your elbows into the mat, slowly lift yourself up, take your time, rise up. You can set the blocks out of the way if you're using them. Hands come down to the mat, downward dog. Pedal out your feet. Ooh, rush of heat through the knees. That's the blood moving through your joints. Just a slow pedal. Dropping one knee, heel down, bending the opposite knee. All right, lower yourself down onto the knees. Swing your legs out in front of you. All right, so you will need your block, or I'm going to turn this way. All right, so you'll need your block or your cushion for this next shape. I'm actually going to use both. Managed to misplace my water bottle, but if you have a water bottle instead of a block, you can pad it with your cushion as well. We're moving into a supported bridge, which is a nice restorative pose. So as we lay back, come onto your back, and we'll shimmy, lift the hips up, and then slide the block underneath your sacrum. So that's the triangular bone at the base of your spine. Now you could work with whatever height feels comfortable for you. We will be here for about 5 minutes, so You want to be in a nice, comfortable position. If you need that extra support or maybe find the block is too hard, you can slide the cushion on top of the block to pad that. This feels really good. Just tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. Now rock your head from side to side and observe if the ridges on your skull. So just rocking from side to side. And find your center, where the chin lines up with the center of your chest. The weight of the hips supported by your block. And in fact, the block ends up being an extension of the earth. So it's grounding down and supporting you. And in every new shape that we take, listen to your breathing again. Notice how the breath changes. Now the immediate place or the immediate response you might be feeling this in your body is your back, your lower back area, as the hips are elevated. See if you can pull your breath not only just from the back, but all the way up the front of your body, into the top of your ribs. So remember how we did that 3-part breath at the beginning? Try to do that again, but in this shape. And I can direct you through that again. So empty completely. Inhale slowly into your belly, ribs, top of the chest or collarbones. Take a long exhale, let it go. Inhale, belly or low back, ribs, collarbones. Nice and slow, exhale. There's no effort to hold yourself up in place. Breathe in, belly, ribs, collarbones. Exhale. Now, the way that the neck is positioned, the chest and the chin are in pretty close proximity. We're stimulating the glands in the throat, the thyroid gland in particular. And that's responsible for balancing our hormones in our body. Four more breaths. Press your feet into your mat. Lift your hips up. Move the blocks, the cushion, whatever you have underneath you, move them out of the way. And then slowly lower yourself down. Keep your knees bent, feet mat width distance apart, let the knees knock together. Just rest here in resting pose. Now, resting pose is a great alternative to Shavasana if you find resting with the legs extended. This is a nice shape to take. And let's feel the rebound here. Take the knees wide, let the knees drop to the right. Chin comes over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, left, chin to the right. Back to center. Let's move, if you have the pillows and stuff there. You can actually take your block, put it between your thighs or your cushion, whatever feels better for you. Slide your hips all the way over to your right. Bring your knees into your chest and let your knees fall to the left. So hips to the right, knees to the left. And just get really creative here. You can even bring the cushion lower between the feet and maybe the block or bottle between the thighs. Just using your props to help support your hips so the hips are nice and balanced. Shoulder blades will stay on the mat. We'll take the left hand, place the left hand on your right rib cage. Try to slide almost to the very back of your ribs, and we'll take 5 deep breaths here. Feel the breath move into your palm, into your left hand. After this breath, engage your belly, move the accoutrements out from between the legs, and then knees come back up to center. Slide your hips over to your left. Bring the block and the bolster, whatever you have between the legs, bring them back through. Switch sides, all the way over, opposite side. So we're supporting everything, and this is actually a restorative style of twist because we're using the props. And in the style or practice of restorative yoga, our bones are supported by a prop. You can use a lot of props in restorative. Maybe I've seen some poses with even about 10 props going, but it just feels so good to feel supported. Okay, right hand to the ribs. 5 of your most vibrant, deepest breaths. And if you can strategically place your fingers between the ribs, see how that feels. It might feel kind of weird to play with that, but see how that feels to breathe the last 2-3 breaths into those spaces between the ribs. All right. Move the blocks, the bolsters, all the tools out from between the legs. Engage your belly, bring your knees up to center. Square your hips. And then make your way into final Shavasana. So if you had 2 pillows, this might feel good to slide 1 pillow under each thigh. Feet could take a wider stance. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but if you have something to cover your eyes, maybe a t-shirt, a face cloth, an eye pillow, just to cover your eyes and block the extra light out. It also helps to have some weight on your third eye there. That's just right between of the eyebrows. Lift your chest, slide your shoulder blades underneath you, and then lift your hips, lengthen your tailbone so that you can feel your spine lengthen on the mat. I was hoping to do more breath work towards the end, but we've come short of time, and I'd rather have a nice long shavasana before you continue the rest of your day. And shavasana is deep relaxation. So let's drop into that. Take a full breath in. Empty your breath completely. Relax the weight of your body onto your mat. Relax your fingers. Relax the back of your hands onto the earth. Relax your forearms. Relax your upper arms. Just relax. Shoulder blades connecting with the mat. Relax. Spine soft. Buttocks relax. The upper legs relax. And your calves relax. And the weight of your heels on the mat, all soft and relaxed. Toes, soles of your feet, relax. This concludes our practice for today. Feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Enjoy. When you are ready to continue the rest of your day, move slowly, move gently. From my heart to yours, namaste.